Hey everybody, it's Liz. Welcome to my channel. So today I am doing the AVR to only 10 mass market decks, and this was sort of a riff off a tag that I think Katie Flower started a year or two ago that was originally only 10 decks. But now Rose Honey Ritual and Garden Goddess Tarot have changed that into only 10 mass market decks. And I'm not exactly clear, but somewhere along the way I heard word about, but no, you don't do Rider-Waite-Smith or Thoth because that goes without saying or something. So I do have one deck that really is kind of a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, but I don't think any of the others are exactly. So anyway, I don't know. Are these my favorite 10 mass market? Are they my oldest? Are they my most used? What are they? I don't know. These are the ones I came up with. So anyway, I'm going to start with the oldest one first. So this is the Motherpeace Tarot, and this was my first tarot deck, and my only tarot deck for many, many years. It's by Vicki Noble and Karen Vogel. And I've told the story of this deck many times on my channel, but suffice it to say that, I was, exploring women's spirituality and paganism and goddess spirituality and feminist spirituality back in the 80s. And I used to go to this shop in outside of Harvard Square in Cambridge called Arsenic and Old Lace, and they had all kinds they had herbs and candles and books and decks and spell casting equipment and anything that you could think you needed for your witch supply cabinet. But I was not attracted to any of the tarot. It was just sort of too white, too straight, too male. And then one day I saw this deck and I was like, holy shit, maybe I do like tarot after all. So I bought this deck. And so I've had this deck for probably close to 40 years. I can't believe it, but it's true. And I really rarely use it anymore. Not sure why. Times change, I change, our culture changes. When I first came across it, it meant the world to me. Now I have other decks that have sort of taken its place, but I will always keep that deck because it was my first tarot deck. So I believe this is my second tarot deck, and it is the Herbal Tarot. It's by Michael Tierra, who is a TCM herbalist. And I was at an herb conference in Auburn, Massachusetts, which is just outside Worcester. And, it was all things herbal. Big name herbalist there. Again, this was back in the day, late 80s, early 90s, I'm not sure. And so I was going to all the different vendor tables, and I went to Michael Tierra's table, and lo and behold, here was a tarot deck, an herbal tarot deck. And I was like, holy shit, two of my favorite things, herbs and tarot. Wow. So I snapped it right up. And I do still use this deck from time to time. It is somewhat Rider-Waite-Smith based, but it does have the twist with these beautiful plant spirits on it. I also got the guidebook, a pretty thick guidebook that talks about the meaning of the cards, the magical meaning of the herbs, and the medicinal meaning of the herbs. Some of the herbs I can't 100% connect to the cards that they're on, but many of them I totally get it and I totally connect to. But I love this deck, and this is another deck I would never part with. As I said, I've had it for, 30 or 40 years. I don't know, losing track of time here. So the next one up is a vintage Aquarium. And this is from 1984, I think. I did not get it in 1984. I bought this used. And I had a perfectly good, lovely, modern day Aquarian Tarot that I was perfectly happy and satisfied with until I saw Esther at Mindful Tarot do a video years ago on all the different versions of vintage Aquarian Tarot and how you can tell what year they're from. And it's funny because the person who was selling this said it was from the 70s. But when I watched Esther's video, I was like, no, it's 1984. And I got to bargain on the price and get it cheaper because it wasn't as old as the person thought it was. So anyway, this is a gorgeous deck. It's unusual. There really isn't anything else like it. And this is one of my favorites. I don't use it a real lot anymore. It's for me, I use it in February. To me, this is very February colors. I don't know why, the pinks and the purples and the reds. So I tend to pull this out for the month of February. And other than that, I don't really use it that much. This is David Palladini is the illustrator of this deck. Next up is probably one of my favorite tarot decks of all time. This is the mass market edition. I also have a independent edition that I got right from the creator, Joanna Powell Colbert. This is the Gaian Tarot. And as I said, this is one of my all-time favorite decks. I love that Fool that Joanna calls the Seeker. It's multicultural. We have elders, we have youth, we have, a variety of different looking folks interacting with each other. It is a deck that follows the Wheel of the Year. Obviously, Gaian Tarot. It's earth-based. The suits are named after the elements, and the quartz are called Child, Warrior, Guardian, Elder. One of my favorites. This is Joanna. Gorgeous, gorgeous deck. It makes me happy just to look at it. So that is the Gaian Tarot, one of my all-time favorite decks, the mass market edition, and that is the Llewellyn one, which is far superior, in my opinion, to the Schiffer one. Speaking of Schiffer, here is one of their decks. Art I Love. The deck, you can't shuffle it. It's really rough. But this is, and I don't remember why I put this in order. I was doing something with this deck and I put it in order. But anyway, this is the Star Tarot by Kathy McClellan. It is somewhat thoth-based. Oh, I love that High Priestess. So gorgeous. I just think this is a beautiful deck. It is really, really detailed, and the guidebook is wonderful because Kathy actually says why different things are, included. So she talks about the artwork on, each card has at least, I think, 2 pages. She talks about astrological correspondences, and then she talks about, okay, so this has these mountains in the background because blah, blah, blah. So many times I see tarot decks and I look at the beautiful cards and I think, wow, That death card is gorgeous. And I wonder, okay, why is this why did the artist include this imagery or this symbol? What is it symbolizing? Sometimes you can figure it out right away, and sometimes you can't. But Kathy's guidebook discusses all the different bits and pieces and what they're symbolic of and why she included them. So anyway, that is the Star Tarot, and this is the borderless edition. I also had the first edition, which I liked. I didn't mind. The cardstock was very shiny, and but so much easier to shuffle. Next up is Wildwood Tarot. I love this deck. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. This is Will Worthington art, and John. Oh no, why am I forgetting his name? The author of the book. He also worked on the Greenwood. John Matthews. Sorry. I love this. It's gorgeous. It's just... I love the artwork, but I have to say some of Will Worthington's people are just a bit off for me. Like, I don't know. Let's see if any of them come up. But the animals and the nature scenery, it's just gorgeous. The colors. All the court cards are animals. I tend to use this deck in autumn, although all the seasons are represented, but somehow I get an autumnal feel from it. But as you can see from the cards, it's got really all of the seasons. I'm trying to see if I can find one of the people that is just a little, yeah, like this guy. I don't know. There's just something a little off about him. Yeah. This guy. I don't know. Does anybody else feel that way with some of Will Worthington's people? I feel that same way about the Druid craft. Some of the people in that, it's like their feet and hands are too big, or I don't know, something funny. Perspective. Maybe it's the perspective is off. I'm not sure. Anyway, all right. Love that deck, despite a couple of the people I think are weird looking. Seeing that I can't draw at all, I really shouldn't criticize. All right, next up is the Light Seers Tarot by Chrisanne Donnelly. This is a lovely deck. I do have the independent one too, but I never use it. I just use this one. It's just beautiful. It does, I think that's one of my all-time favorite, Queen of Pentacles. So gorgeous. The colors. It does play a little bit young. It's not really super inclusive, although, oh, look, he's got gray hair. But if you look at his face, he still looks pretty young. It's not like he's really an elder. I love the King and Queen of Swords in this deck. So beautiful. It's just a gorgeous deck. She did a lovely job with it. Beautiful death card. She calls it Death and Rebirth. Again, not one of my favorite strength cards. Just a lovely deck. To me, it's a summery deck. I tend to use this deck in the summer, I think, because of the bright colors. Beautiful. So that is another one of my favorite decks, mass market decks. Now, this brings me to a deck that makes me happy yet sad. It's the Modern Witch Tarot by Lisa Searle, and I love the illustrations. When I first got this deck and, opened it up and looked at it, it literally made me cry. It did just something about it, just hit me in my heart and made me feel so emotional. Something about these images this really hit me. It is all women or female presenting people. Oh my goodness. I'm having a collapse of a tower of cards here. Oh, look at that. Another beautiful Queen of Pentacles. You can see it's very Rider-Waite-Smith based. But I love the imagery of the people. And this is the famous card that started it all. It's just such a great image. I love that. Three of Pentacles, really different, really nice. Three of Cups. So anyway, I love this deck. I would like to use it much more than I ever do, but the cardstock is unshuffleable. I have small hands, so you know that's part of the problem, but it's so stiff. It's just, and then it's just it's not even great to overhand, and so I don't use it, even though I really love the deck. So that kind of makes me sad. I'm trying to see where I am. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Next up is another one of my favorites. This is the New Era Elements. This is by Ellie Piper. Oh, I just love this deck. I find, oh, look at that. So she portrays the magician as the magus, and he's kind of a, you know, a shyster. He's a, you know, he's a flim-flam man, and I kind of like that. We have Dalai Lama as the Hierophant, which I love. And I'm not usually a lover of the Wheel of Fortune, but I really, really like this how Ellie has presented this Wheel of Fortune. She does use the name of the elements for the suits. And she has a lot of animals and people. This is Ellie. I love that victory. I love that 6 of Fire. It's so great. I've heard a lot of people that are kind of squeamish about this deck because of cards like this. And there's some cards that show animal cruelty. But, you know, it's not like Ellie's a proponent of animal cruelty. She's speaking out against animal cruelty. And I have just heard a lot of people say, well, you know, animal cruelty. And it's like, yeah, but guess what? It exists. So it's not, I don't know. People have a freak out over that devil card, so I don't want to leave it up there too long. But I think it's one of the best devil cards I've ever seen. It really, to me, touches on the meaning of that card. So anyway, New Era Elements. I use that deck when I want the truth, when I don't want anything soft pedaled, when I really want a hard hitting, here's your answer, honey. All right, this is 10. This is Tarot of Mystical Moments by Katrine Weltstein. And, you know, the Oracle of the same name by the same artist came out first. And I wasn't a fan at all. And I'm still not. I don't own the Oracle. It doesn't really speak to me, even though the artwork is really, really similar. So when the Tarot came out, I didn't even think about it because I didn't like the Oracle. So when I saw that it was really similar art, so I thought, well, why would I like the Tarot when it's the same art style as the Oracle? I freaking love this Tarot. And I still don't want that Oracle. I don't know why. I haven't ever figured that out. And does anybody else feel that way about this Oracle, the Tarot of Mystical Moments and the Oracle of Mystical Moments? Do you like them both? Do you like one but not the other? Oh, this is so much fun. It's so whimsical. It's so, I don't know, it just makes me smile. I just love this deck. And this, for me, I tend to pull this one out in the spring. It's very blossomy, and I like that it has real spring colors. It's just so whimsical and so much fun, and I enjoy this deck very, very much. Oops. Anyway, those are my 10 mass market decks. and I was going to do an honorable mention, but I decided, you know what? I'm going to follow the rules. So tell me in the comments below, what are some of your decks that are your favorite mass market decks? Do you like any of these? Are any of these in your favorite mass market decks? I love getting your comments and interacting with you. To me, that's kind of part of being in the YouTube community is, you know, chatting with each other about our decks and our thoughts about the decks that we love and don't love. Anyway, I hope this finds you well and that you're at peace. Blessings.